Hi, this is David Davis, and I'm proud to be here with Mr. Irfan Ahmad from Cloud Physics. He's the CTO and co-founder. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, thank you.
Great, great. So I've been learning about Cloud Physics today, and I know that you guys are very different, really, from other virtualization management companies, in that you use a virtual appliance to collect anonymous customer data that's brought back to some big Cloud Physics data center in the sky, I guess. And using this big data approach, you provide real customers around the world with sort of actionable analytics to help solve their problems. So why don't you tell us, technically, how is all that possible?
That's right. So that's a great introduction, David. The way that the architecture is actually very unique. Our customers install a very small virtual appliance. It's about 400 megabytes. It downloads, installs itself using the built-in vCenter capabilities for auto deployment of OVFs. Within 5 or 10 minutes, you're up and going. So that's a very big thing that we emphasized early on in the development of our product to make sure that the installation of the product and the initial user experience was very, very easy and simplified. So the moment that you install that virtual appliance in your environment, it starts to collect data from your vCenter and other API sources. It removes sensitive information from that, it compresses it, scrubs it, encrypts it, and then starts to send that up to the cloud. So that's what you're referring to.
Okay.
As soon as that data ends up in our cloud service, we start to do analysis. So by the time that you have set up this virtual appliance and you switch back over into your browser and log into Cloud Physics, literally from those few seconds, you start to receive that actionable intelligence that you were referring to. And so immediately as the data gets uploaded and we process it, we will be looking at this data in its cleaned form, and we're looking for patterns in your environment that you need to be aware of that you might not be aware of. So for instance, one of our customers, he tweets about this all the time, and he's written about it and blogged about it, that within the first 5 minutes of him setting up Cloud Physics, he was able to save $5,000 in storage costs that quickly. And so the way that we do it is actually very unique. Instead of writing machine learning algorithms that are kind of looking for anomalies in your environment or other ad hoc techniques, we actually model your data center. So when the data comes up, we take the structure of your data center into account, all the dependencies in your environment between all the various components into account, and then based on that, we give you that actionable intelligence. A classic example of that is our ability to look inside your environment and find opportunities for saving space that you may not be aware of. And we do that by doing all kinds of interesting analysis in your environment.
Fascinating. Well, I mean, it reminds me almost of the Star Trek computer, or maybe an everyday application like, say, Google Maps. You say I want to get from here to there, and it takes in all these different routes into account.
That's right.
Perhaps traffic congestion and just so many different factors to give you these end results.
That's right, and that's actually a really great analogy. We find it interesting that as drivers on the highway, that we have the intelligence of the entire driving crowd that morning at our service to help us guide us through the traffic jams and to reroute us around the traffic jams. That's the state of modern technology and consumer. And yet, in the enterprise world of IT, right, we don't have that type of capabilities, and Cloud Physics is building that. And so, as you mentioned, the nice analogy here is that everybody's data is at the service of everybody, and that's exactly what Cloud Physics does. So, as more and more customers, are connected to us, we get to see patterns in their environment that help us solve problems for all of our customer base.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we get to see patterns that have never been seen in your environment. And that's a key differentiator for us. So for instance, you're aware of VMware's VCOps tool, great tool for anomaly detection. But where it leaves off is in detecting the anomaly. Well, how do you get from having seen an anomaly to knowing how to solve it? That's still a manual process today. And that's the sort of technology that we have. But because our modeling for even noticing that something is wrong is actually deep data center modeling rather than an ad hoc machine learning algorithms, that when we know that there's something wrong, the same algorithm, the same technique, the computational technique, also tells us how to solve it. And that's a key element in our architecture. It's very different.
Yeah, fascinating. I mean, in the past, the best thing I can relate this to is, an enterprise would pay some expensive consultant to come in and do a health check every year,
Yes.
and they have their experience over the years of the different problems they've seen, and
Yes.
they try to figure out if your environment's run, if it's optimized, if it's run well and configured right,
Yes.
and that could cost thousands of dollars, take many days, and who knows if that consultant really finds all the problems or not. And so here you're using analytics from every enterprise to help other enterprises and doing it in an automated way almost. So
Yeah.
within 5 minutes, like you said, you can find problems in your organization.
That's right. And the remarkable thing is that consultants love this service.
Really?
Yes, and because it enables them to provide value to their customers into organizations where they're the trusted partners, but do it more efficiently, do it more completely, right? And to continue to build that relationship of trust there with their customers. So, we found that consultants absolutely love the service, and not only do they use it, but they enhance it. Because one of the key capabilities in the platform is that our users are able to enhance the service by adding more and more applications. And here I don't mean by writing down and learning how to code in some obscure language that some vendor created, right? Something non-standard. This is really just drag and drop. So you go into our studio, which is a place where you build these little applications. You just really drag and drop and build the relationship, build the reports that you're looking for. And as a consultant, right, now you can actually scale your business. So, whereas it feels at the initial, like as you were mentioning, that that this tool might replace the consultant. In actual fact, what's happening is the consultants are using this to improve their business.
That's fascinating to me because it's really the first virtualization management tool I've seen that sort of closes that loop.
That's right.
I mean, in the past, you would buy a tool, install it, let it run, and maybe it would help you, maybe it wouldn't. But there was never any sort of feedback, back into the community or back into the tool, to help improve it. So, really unique tool, Cloud Physics, and I understand we have some great videos from your engineers demonstrating some of the most powerful cards in the card stack. So, thanks for your time, Irfan.
Thank you. Most welcome.